What I'd like to do this afternoon is quickly take you through the corporate action use case and the application we developed to demonstrate how this corporate action use case could be developed in VANTIQ. So this is a high-level overview of the corporate action use case. We have a number of actors involved. We've got the relationship manager, the discretionary product specialist, and the IC. And this is the flow through the system. So the first step of the process is a corporate action event comes into the system. That corporate action event needs to be assigned to clients and based on their portfolio. And based on the profile of the client, we will either take the discretionary product specialist route or the IC route, the non-discretionary product specialist route. So if we have a discretionary, if they're a discretionary account, then we'll go down here and create a corporate action, a discretionary corporate action trigger, and then interact with the Avaloq user interface and the discretionary product specialist to fulfill this corporate action event. So what we've developed is a small application that demonstrates how this could be built in VANTIQ. So we've developed two simple user interfaces, one for the discretionary product specialist that's showing the open corporate actions and the deferred and closed corporate actions, and also another one for the relationship manager that's showing all of the corporate actions that are currently going on that affect this relationship manager's clients. So as you can see at the moment, there's nothing going on in the system. So what I'm going to do is send into the system a new corporate action event. In this case, it's a corporate action event for IBM, indicating that IBM has announced a stock split. And the first step of the process is we're going to notify the discretionary product specialists through a mobile interface to say, here are some corporate action events that are affecting your clients. So let's pick one of them. I've got one here. I can see it's related to IBM, it's a stock split, and the customer in question is John. And as a discretionary product specialist, I can take a look at it and review it. In this case, it's going to show me a web page that gives me more details about what IBM are up to. And I can come along here and say, okay, I'm going to accept it. As you can see on the screen there at the moment, I have no open corporate actions. And if I click on the accept button, then what will happen is this corporate action will get assigned to me, and I can now start reviewing it using the web interface. So I can click on it here, and I'll get some more details about it. So I can see the client is John. I can see a detailed description of the corporate action. Once again, I can click on this view button, and this will open the web page. And over here, I've got some historic stock information for IBM. So it's brought up all the relevant data associated with IBM. And I can see here that I'm looking at some real-time stock data for IBM. And I can see that IBM is currently trading at just below $170 a share. And I can see the rise over time. So I can see the fluctuations of the share price over time. So I can see that it's going, it's going up and down and so forth. Now, as a discretionary product specialist, I might want to interact with my client, John, and provide them some instant information, because it might be that, I want some more details about what I should do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send them a message. I'll say, hi, John, we suggest you sell IBM. Based on the based on the profile of the client, this interaction will either go via SMS message or email, or it could go via a chatbot. In this case, it's going to go via an SMS message. So I've sent the message. And if I switch back over to my mobile phone over here, then I can see, I've received a text message. And it says, hi, John, we suggest you sell IBM. As interacting as John now, I'm going to say, okay, thanks. Please sell IBM. And in a few seconds, I'll get the notification back onto the screen here, back from the system to say, this is what John has requested that we do, that we go ahead and sell the IBM stock. So let's have a look at how we develop this application. So what I'm going to do is switch across to the VANTIQ Modelo user interface. This is our development and operations interface for building these real-time event-driven applications. On the left-hand side here, we see the project resource graph. This is a high-level overview of the application and all the components involved in the application. And the two main components I want to look at today are the application builder, which is the top right-hand side, and what we call a collaboration down the bottom. The idea of an app builder is the first step of the process is we're going to receive these real-time events, and we need to enrich and digest those events. We need to analyze those events to see if they're events of interest or events that we don't have to do anything about. And we do that by building this app. And this app starts off by consuming the corporate action event stream. And the first step of the process is to enrich those corporate action events. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what clients, if any, are affected by this particular corporate action based on that client's portfolio. So we have an enrich activity. So these apps are built up using us by configuring a series of what are called activities. And this particular activity is a transformation. And what we're going to come along in here and say, we're going to remap the data, and we're going to call a procedure that I built that queries the database to get the clients for a particular corporate action. And it's just going to use the symbol associated with the corporate action and the portfolio of the client to say, do any of these clients have this symbol in their portfolio? If they do, they get added into this list. The next step of the process is to what we call unwind. So at the moment, we've got a single corporate action with a list of clients that are affected by it. Then what we do is we unwind that and we generate a discrete event for each client associated with that corporate action. And then what we do is we come along and we look at those events and we make a decision, once again, based on the profile of the client as to whether or not we're going to go down the discretionary or the non-discretionary route. So it comes along in here, says if the client equals discretionary, then we're going to go left. If the client isn't discretionary, we're going to go right. When we've decided which direction we're going based on the events that are flowing through the system, we start a collaboration. This is the point where we start interacting with the discretionary product specialist or the IC to resolve that particular corporate action. And the way we interact with the discretionary product specialists and with the customers and the clients is through this thing called a collaboration. So the first step is to do a recommend. Okay, and we're going to recommend the discretionary product specialists and the relationship managers. So what we need to do in the collaboration is figure out who are the discretionary product specialists and who is the relationship manager for this particular client. So it's going to come along here and perform a recommend activity. And once again, these are built using drag and drop low code mechanisms of configuring these activities. So this particular activity says we're looking for discretionary product specialists, and here is a routine that we've got that is going to query the database to figure out which discretionary product specialists look after this particular client. Okay, and we do exactly the same thing for the relationship manager. In the case of the relationship manager, we then just assign that relationship manager to the collaboration. And the process of assigning that that relationship manager to the collaboration will then send a notification to them so that they can see, okay, this is what's being worked on your behalf. But in the case of the discretionary product specialist, there might be multiple discretionary product specialists that look after John. So we're going to send a notification. So if you remember back from the mobile phone, we pushed out a little notification to the mobile phone, and one of the discretionary product specialists accepted the job. And whoever accepts the job then gets assigned to it. And then we push notification out to the web page in this case, and we start listening for the sending and receiving of text or emails to that particular client. And all of this is done in a low-code, high-productivity environment. So as you can see, building this application was very simple. It took approximately a day to put it all together, work through the use case and figure out what we needed to do with the data and how we needed to analyze the data to work out the various steps involved. As well as handling a scenario where we're going to look at a single stream of events, in this case the corporate action, I want to show you how we can also look at events and correlate events across event streams. So here we've got another application that we developed, and this has got two streams of events coming in. One is the stock tick events. Okay, so these are being generated every a few a second to indicate the current stock price of, in this case, IBM or Apple or whatever stock. And then we have the corporate action events coming in as well. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to analyze the stock tick events, and we're going to use time series data to do that and a time series activity to do that. And what we're going to do is define what we call a threshold. And what the threshold is going to do is just look at the rise. We're not interested in whether it's, IBM is 170 or 50 or whatever the value is, but we're interested in whether or not the price is currently going up or going down by 3%. Okay, and that's just the threshold that I've set, an arbitrary threshold, because I know the data will generate something that indicates that. So if IBM or Apple or whoever crosses these thresholds, then what we're going to do is do a join, and we're going to look at the two data streams now. We're going to look at the corporate action data stream and the crossing the threshold data stream and say, if we've got a corporate action event in and we've currently crossed this plus or minus 3% fluctuation of that particular share, then something interesting is happening. And we've specified a time period. So we're saying this must happen within 1 minute. Okay, if a corporate action event comes in an hour's time and the threshold was crossed now, then it's not interesting. We're only interested if the two happen within about a minute, and I've just specified an arbitrary time here to allow me to easily see what's going on. And if that has occurred, then I'm going to generate what we call a situation. In this case, it's the corporate action fluctuation situation. And over here, we can see that we've got, on the relationship manager, we got some notifications come out to indicate that, not only has a corporate action event occurred, and we can see that Mark is currently working on it, but also that particular stock price is fluctuating quite rapidly. And therefore, we might want to jump on that as soon as possible. And once again, building these applications of joining these multiple streams of real-time data together and responding to those in real time is very simple and easy in VANTIQ. Thank you very much.